First of all, I'm gonna say thanks. Well, we get the thanks for the invitation. I feel very proud to be here, and I don't know if I even deserve it, but I'll try to just explain the process of how we do things in the border. I think the most important thing is that we don't feel that we are in one area. We feel in one nation. Or I feel always that I'm in the middle of nowhere. No, when I do my projects in Tijuana and in San Diego. The main thing I'm gonna talk about the location. Of course, we're located in the Pacific Ocean, and that's the border between where I was raised. Playas de Tijuana, which is on this side, and on the right-hand side, we have San Diego, no? The county of San Diego. There is a lot of things that happens only in those areas where you have two different countries, and this is a place where we get this. This is what happens there. It's a city of 130 years old, a very young city, but it grows very, very fast. You see the organization on the left-hand side, which is the United States, and the way we build almost like just attached to trying to be Americans, or I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm trying, but that's the way it works there. We always try to be together, and the American side, they want to be separate from Mexico. Okay, so that's where everything started. It's very interesting to look at it on this photo, and then also to look at it at this way. This photo is taken while they were doing the construction of the fence between Tijuana and San Diego, and there is the border patrol buying chips from the Mexican guy. No? So this is what happens in everything we do. We started doing residential projects, and we applied the ideas of the building systems from the United States and the possibilities that we have in Mexico. In Mexico, as you know, the restrictions normally, the first one is the economy. So we have to work creatively to try to build something that is representatively international. So how we do it? The only way that I see it, that I can get to do something that I believe is original, or try to do something unique, I always try to look at when I was young, and to see what were the experiences that I lived in the border, and not only in the border, but in travels and in areas. Like, for example, this image reflects something that you feel when you were like young or something, and how do you interpret this into architecture? Emotions, sensations, the way you saw architecture when you were little. In this case, there are images like McDonald's, for example, then the Virgin Mary there, Calvin Klein publicity, even Homer Simpson here with a sombrero. So those are the things that you kind of start to understand. In this case, for example, textures. I got interested in textures a lot, so in the work we do, we always try to experiment with materials. If we could use this in our facade, we will use it, but kids will eat it in Mexico. So this is what I remember when I was getting out of school, that I wanted a place, I had faith that I wanted a place that I can feel proud of. Also, I looked to work on different firms in Tijuana, and there were none when I finished school that I wanted to work there. So I started looking. So I went to San Diego. Had to work illegally first to be able to get to understand the building systems there, and I kind of fell in love of materials. This is not from San Diego, but it's from a travel, for example. I kind of looked at this material in a classical architecture, but I always envision it to see it in a modern way. Another thing that I was raised in, I was looking at this kind of recycled materials in the area, and also like in junkyards, for example, that you can get inspiration everywhere. When I went in Berlin to the Daniel Lipsky Museum, there was this area where they had all this, well, not like this, but pieces of metal. It reminded me of these images. Those are images that you see like in every junkyard there, no? in Tijuana. So it's always interesting to look at stuff that you have seen before, like in travels, for example, this similitude from a nature landscape, that is this one, from this one, and then you can get inspiration everywhere, okay? Okay, then I started to think, how can I do it? I don't have that much budget in my projects, so I started to kind of get to know the people that does it, and it was all the craftsmen. And I thought it was a very good idea to start because it's something that is cheap, and you can do whatever you want with these guys. So I started looking at guys that do clay, some carpenters, some iron workers, and I decided I wanted to go that way. I tried to build stuff that it was very simple, not because I wanted to make it simple, because it needed to be cheap. So as simple as it was, as cheap it'll get. So that's how it started. In this case, all the pieces are the same size. We just rearrange it differently and attach it over the concrete, of course. Okay. In this case, we had to do, for example, partitions for a bathroom, but I didn't want to do the stainless steel ones or something prefabricated. So I talked to the carpenter and to the iron worker and started to design these elements that function in a certain way. The structure, like in this case, the structure where the panels get supported, there were the handles. So minimize the stuff that you have to add so that at the end it becomes less expensive. And that's how we got it to do this project. In this case, you see the clay chimney. When we were building this hotel, we had I looked on the internet to buy chimneys that were kind of contemporary. There weren't that many, so I had to design one and build it right there. No? Okay, I'm gonna talk about different projects with only like 7 photos on each, and talk about the experiences on each of them. In this case, this is our first project done on 2005, and it's a house that represents the philosophy of the studio, I think. We did a steel structure with galvanized metal walls and covered with wood. What I see there is that it's a mixture of 2 building systems: the framework of the way they build in San Diego, and then the steel work. In Mexico is less expensive to build with steel than building with wood, and also the firefighters are not very good, so you don't want to build the main structure with wood. Okay, we use polycarbonate panels and redwood in this case. Okay, there was a problem with the soil, the hard soil. I don't know if you say it like that. The strong soil. It was 8 meters below there, so we had to. The engineer suggested us to use piles to go in, but it was expensive, so we decided to, instead of doing that, we took all the dirt out, built retaining walls, and at the end we gained all this area for the studio that is below the house. So I think the most important thing in this project is that we have to always work with the engineering part. so making numbers, so that at the end it becomes less expensive. That's the way we started to get our jobs. We always advertised that we were cheaper. Okay. So, and they cannot say no, because they just, in this other project, it's a house in front of the Ocean Pacific. The idea on this house is that there was some restrictions. As you see here, the tile roofs. Well, you don't see that much. But there is a rule that is from the homeowners that 70% of the house needs to be tile and with pitch roofs. And what we told them there, we built a roof garden. So we told them it was just garden, and we could build it flat. No? So this is another photo of the house. Another interesting about this project. Oh, I'm out. Sorry. This house, all the furniture, there is in Mexico City, for example, eBay doesn't work that good. So, but in Tijuana we have that thing that we have San Diego very close. So we bought almost all this furniture on eBay, and some of like this ones, we just got it on second-hand stores, and we just remade them. So this is the interesting part of this project. Okay, I'm going to talk about culinary school. This project is a culinary art school in Tijuana. This project was built in a timing where Tijuana was very insecure. Security was not very good. So I wanted a place where people, where the students will be more in an urban environment, but there was nothing, no neighbors or nothing. So I created kind of like a plaza for the students to always be in contact with the classrooms or with the kitchens. So with this plaza, the idea of the plaza is for the students to always interact with the people that are on the free time, so that it becomes like a everyday life. I want the students to kind of make it as their main thing, so that they don't feel like, oh, I'm free time and then I'm in class. On this one, we use all garapa wood. We design also the furniture there. Okay, and this photo, we have, if you see on the floor, we have a stone from a close by river. The idea to put stone there is because we wanted the people that get in just get the feelings out. Like when you get there, all the people that get in, they touch and they feel, oh, where am I? So that's the main thing. We always try to get emotions involved in architecture. Okay, this is another project. 5 years ago, a client called us and said, we want to build a winery. Okay, so in the Mexico's wine country near Ensenada. So we went and looked at the site, and they told me, oh, what can we build here? And I told them, we shouldn't build anything. It's beautiful like it is, the way it is. But they say, yeah, but we want to make business. We want to. So I told them, okay, so let's build something that it doesn't affect nature, no? Because nature, it was very important there. So what we decided, these guys told me, hey, and I want to build houses for sale. So I thought, how can we sell houses if they haven't experienced this place? How can you sell a house in the middle of nowhere? So we convinced them to build a hotel. Okay, we look at this property. It was 100 hectares. We walked it. It was very hard because. So then we wanted to see where to build the hotel. So there was all this work done on topo surveys and all that. And then I told the owner, oh, then we need to hire the surveyor, not the surveyor, the civil engineer. And he said, no, I don't want to pay for that. Okay. And I said, how come? No, I said, no, I don't want. So I thought, okay, so he hired, instead of hiring the surveyor, he hired he bought a big machine and a guy who drove the machine. So he said, go up there. So I was with the guy with the machine going, oh, go this way. And then when we see a rock, we just go other way. And so we built all these roads first. That was the first step. Okay. So then once we got all these roads, we said, okay, so then where we build the hotel? And it was 95 hectares, and he wanted to build only like 4,000 square feet. So I was like, I was out of scale, no? Because it was, and I haven't built a hotel before. So I was like, how can we do a hotel? Where do I put it? It's only 400 meters or 100 hectares. And I was like, nobody's gonna enjoy this structure. Nobody's gonna live the rest of the property. So I said, why don't we do these structures that are everywhere? Like wherever we want to put it, we put it in there. So that's where we started to utilize the concepts of the previous projects. In this case, the way to not disturb the land, it was to do a prefabrication, prefab. So the thing, what happened here is that we designed this cabin that is 12-foot height, and then I went in and measured, and I was going to prefabricate it in Mexicali, which is like 3 hours away. And then we went in and measured all the bridges, and they were lower, so my project like didn't work. So I had to design the same one, but in pieces, in little pieces, so that it can be assembled with like 8 guys. It was the idea to assemble it with only people carrying all those pieces. So we designed it. We did it this way, so that the strongest, the heaviest pieces are of course the 4 columns, but they were stand by with, how do you call it, like crane, the small cranes, but hand. It's not a machine or a crane or something. Okay, so we wanted to get an experience for the people that stay there, that we wanted them to feel safe, because it's a place where you have rattlesnakes or bobcats or animals. So we want the people to feel secure. So we decided to make it all white, so that if there is a spider, they can see it. No. Okay. So this is the way they look after. The material, it looks like curtain, but in reality it's just steel. It will run, maybe in like 20 years we have to replace it, but it was cheaper. So we put them right there. Our client, for example, on this lamp, I have this photo because our client told me, oh, you know what, you have to give me the specification of the lamps. And I told him, okay. I give them a specification. And he said, no, but it's too expensive. Go buy something at Home Depot, he told me. And I went there and bought all the pieces from Home Depot and put it together. So it's a lamp from Home Depot. Okay. Then the doors, for example, it's a panel. It's a panel that just opens. It's just, I didn't like the idea of having a little door, so I decided that the room needed to be just one piece and just so that it feels very secure. If you see the fan is like $40, and the lamp there is just a cable, just with a light bulb. Okay, for example, this is the closet. Okay, and here this hand sink, it's made out of a steel plate, 3/8 steel plates, painted with car paint. So the idea is that everything that we design, we try to get involved in all the process and everything, so that at the end it becomes something different. We always have this restraints in budget, so I think it's cool because it becomes a challenge and it becomes original at the end. In this case, we did it black. We didn't even tell the client. We just did it just because one of the rooms only. He just went there and saw it black, and he said, "Why black?" And just because. It was a good relationship with the client. Okay, some of the terraces, each room has one terrace. Some of them we did it in an organic form, and some very squared, like in this case, elevated over a steel structure. You see, this is the type of nature that we have there. If you look at the colors on the rocks, they look kind of the same once it's getting rusted. So it's very important for me to go see the projects after 1 year and they look different. I kind of like it. If they had eyes, they look that I'm also different after 1 year. So it's kind of nice to have that interaction with the projects. We put fences, like handrails after. Yeah, that photos were taken before the handrail. I didn't want it actually, but it was difficult. If somebody fell. Because they're drinking wine, so. and it's all dark in the night. They say the hotel is not 5 stars, it's like 1,000 stars because you can see the stars. That's the only thing. Okay, I like the way it interacts with nature. So the main thing in this project is to sell houses. So we are on the first stage. We haven't sold one, but we have a hotel now. So, okay, the rocks that you see there, they're very unique. They look like sculptures. The scale, I took this photo because it's important to see the scale. Some people think they're very small. They're small in the floor plan, but since they're 12 foot height, it makes it feel more spacious. Okay. Craftsmanship is always involved in the projects. In this case, for example, the steel structure was prefabricated 3 hours away from there and taken with a crane, but we still had the guy from the town put it together with carrizo, material from local material. This is the pool area. If I had brought photos of the original design, it's totally different. We had to do it like as a sculpture because we were digging and then we found the rock, so we had to, everything has to be done inside. If you look at the original plans of this project, the only thing that is the same is the cabins. Everything else changed. Okay. This is another case. It happened during the project. The client wanted us to buy a Costco. How do we call it? Like sun beds. So, but we had to design one that cost the same as the one at Costco. So we went with our friends, the carpenter and the iron worker, and had to design this one so that at the end it was built. No, this is the winery. This is why everything started. We had to build this one first. The interesting about this project, we also prefabricated, but the interesting thing is that we mix a lot of things. We mix the production area, which is the winery, a bar for wine tasting, an art gallery, and the reception of the hotel. So, and also on the production facilities. We designed it in a way that we don't use electric pumps to pump all the water, so it's in vertically, so that it's so that we don't use energy for the process. Okay, that's why the top part is where the grapes get. They put the grapes there. They take it to the fermentation tank, and then to the wine cellar. This is the way it looked, all the project together. We have 8 rooms on the front and 12 on the back. The idea of putting these ones on the front of the road is to get attention of the people passing by. We really didn't want it at the beginning, because in reality is that the rooms that are on the back are more, they feel better because they feel very like in the middle of nowhere. But it's all, architecture is always also important to get the attention, because if not, it's for business purposes, of course. This is what I was telling about the process and how they get all the work done. Okay, I had to design even all the furniture. We like designing furniture, but in reality is because they didn't want to buy furniture. So they wanted to put some cheap furniture, so we said, no, let's do it. Okay, this is the reception. Okay, this is during the construction we noticed that there was all granite when we were doing the foundations, so we decided to do a hole and put just another wine cellar for bottles. So we did a hole from the machine from top, and then put the roof on it with steel. It's all with natural light, so that we can save energy there also. And since the beginning, when we're doing the location of the winery, we saw these 3 rocks and we thought it would look nice inside. If you see the project, some we are over nature, some we are inside nature, and some we put nature inside the building. In this case, we did that, and in the houses that we're building now, also we're doing that. It's always important to, like in this kind of project, to have nature as the main thing. Okay, these are more views of the winery. This is the view of the valley. The owner of when we were there, the property that these guys bought, at the beginning was cheap somehow compared to the flat areas of the valley, because in the flat areas that's where you can build. We can plant the wine. This is the winery with the hotel, and this is the first house. We're building 12 of those. We started we wanted a house where the common areas are very open, and the areas that are enclosed are the private areas, of course. This is another photo of the house. We cantilevered roofs 8 feet, so that in winter you have a little bit of sun coming in, and in the summer you don't have any sun going through. And they have air conditioning, but with the sliding windows you have enough cross ventilation, so that you only need it for a certain time of year. This is the idea. That's the separation between the shower and the bed. Yeah. So, in this house, we built it very fast. Actually, I was doing a lecture in Mexico City, and the client told me, you know what, we need to build a house. Because at the beginning it was small, it was like 150 square meters. We have to build another room, he told me, because I'm planning to bring in a month some clients that might want to buy it, but they like big houses. And also, but the house is nice. He told me, no, but I need to build it. And I didn't believe him. So when I was on the plane, then when I got to Mexico City, my brother told me, who works with me, he's an architect also, and he told me, you know what, this guy is really into it, and he's gonna get another architect to start building. But I told him, but there's no design, there's nothing. But we have to design something. So I sent him on the iPad, I did some drawings because I didn't even have a scanner or to take photos. So we did this, the design of this house, and we started to building it like next day, without permits, of course, and it got built in 25 days, the whole house. Yeah, because we even had to buy this IKEA curtains, because this guy said, no, they're coming tomorrow. So I went on the night to buy IKEA those. I didn't like it, but I had to put it because the guy was pressuring a lot. But I had to respond, and I think that's the important thing. You have to always respond to the restraints that you have in our profession. Maybe for the United States it doesn't work that way, but since in Mexico it happened that way, I have to respond. In this case, a friend of mine, he owns an art gallery, so he told me, you know what, I don't have money, but I want to hire you. But I don't have money even for the construction. I said, come on. And so I told him, why don't we get this, why don't you buy paint and we get these friends, graffiti guys, and just paint the wall. And we didn't do anything really. That's what we, no. And that's the way it is. These are the guys. This guy, the white guy on the right, is from San Diego. No, from LA. This guy is from San Diego, and the guy in the center from Oaxaca. So we got different guys from different areas to just do graffiti. Okay, and in the interior, we had to. We got, for example, the floors are the forms that we use for the culinary school. On the culinary school, we had all this material because it's also a friend of the guy. The guy from the school is the same friend of the guy from the gallery, and it's a friend of mine also. So we put all these materials together, and we, like the roof, for example, is panels from refrigerator panels from a store that they were on the trash. We went literally to this place called where they throw the trash. Yeah, to trash to pick up stuff. So in this case, we got the materials on the floor, the roof. The only things we bought are the gypsum boards to put on the walls. In this gallery, what has interesting is that it converts into different things. We put a table, and we got the guys from the culinary school cooking there. It just starts to open doors, and it's always surprising to be there because there's always something on the back. In this case, we got chairs that we got from a reclaim factory in Tijuana. This factory, they do chairs for San Diego, but he got chairs there, so he gave it to us. So we just refinish it. And then the doors open, and then the kitchen, small kitchen, is back there. That's the pole dancing. No, it was a structural element that was there. Later on, we moved it. But it's, you see all the doors that they just open, and there's something on the back always. Okay. And then this is the way it's like when we do like all this. It's per invitation. You have like 18 people coming in, and the people from the school, the culinary school, cook for them, and they always have something different happens in this gallery. Okay, they present new wines from the. Like we always like to connect dots in between our clients. Like for example, right now on the hotel, next year we're gonna build a school, a culinary school in the hotel. So it's like always trying to connect the dots to at the end have an experience. This last project, it's only 3 photos, but it's this chain from retail stores in Mexico. They asked us to design a retail store, and I was thinking, I've never done a retail store, so what can I do? So I started thinking, who likes retail stores? Normally women. so I look at what women like, and they always like stuff hanging, and so I look at this photo and I thought it was good inspiration. No? So on the design, I designed this kind of facade. This was a small project, this one, but the thing is that this is the only render that I showed. Normally I don't like renderings. The thing is that I want to show this one because it's important. The representation for architects is sometimes it's difficult. In this case, it became a problem because I wanted to be copper. So in the rendering, what we did, we show it like the process, how it's gonna turn. But the thing is that my client liked it. So at the end, he made me do it like in colors. So I had to select like different colors so that the end looked like that. So let me just tell you one little project that got. How are we on time? Good? Just one. I think we jump on this one. Okay. This project is the one in Todos, Santos. It's a house for a client from LA. It's a client from LA, French guy. In this case, where are you going? I look at similar houses. I looked at the houses that they were built. This is not a house. This is a clamatos or something like that, where they sell beer and tomato. Yeah. So I look at the materials. And then I try to design something with the local materials. At the beginning, I wanted to design a house that it was prefabricated because it felt that it was close because it was also in Baja California, but it was all the way down. So when I realized it was not that close, I changed my concept, and I decided to build a house that it was built only with labor from the small town and with materials that were only bought in the two hardware stores that they were there. So they only had concrete. They had these Talavera tiles that are normally everywhere that I went. They were there, and I didn't know why, but there's only one street there. So in that street there is a store that sells Talavera. So I went there and I used those materials. Also, it's a house that it was going to be used only for like 2 or 3 months a year. So that's why the narrow windows. The one below is when you're sitting, you look at the horizon, and the other one, the left hand side, when you're standing, you look at the horizon from that window. But you cannot get the refrigerator out from there. So they cannot steal it because it's gonna be alone in the house. So the doors, they're made out of steel, and at the end they get rusted. And the good thing about those doors is that during the night you have cross ventilation, like this one. You just close we have to do the windows and doors also on site, and the doors you just leave it closed, and you have the air going through the house because it's very hot. Okay, it's near Cabo San Lucas, 1 hour away. These are the materials that I saw that people were using in the standard building system there, so I started to use it in the project. It's called Palo de Arco, and it's just wood. This photo represents a little bit of what later on the other project that I just showed you, the hotel. This one represented what I really wanted on this one also, but during the construction, since I was not supervising the construction in this case because it was far away, when I got there, they already have ripped up all the plants. Like if you see here, they're not on me, but in the other project we had time. It's very important to say that on all of our projects we build it, and we design and build everything. In this case, we had to hire a local architect to go over the construction because it was like in airplane you have to go like 2 hours from where I live. So it was a little difficult to go every day. Okay, this is then the night you just close those and you have the ventilation of the house. Okay, and that's it.